Red-eye flights are often cheaper, but are they worth losing the full night of sleep? Well, tonight we're going to find out because we're heading to Washington, D.C. on a red-eye with United Airlines.
I'm Josh, a pilot and aviation enthusiast exploring the world one flight at a time with a camera in hand. Buckle up as we embark on this adventure. Welcome to JT Aviation. Here's tonight's plan. We'll depart from Phoenix just before midnight bound for Washington, and then we'll fly to Burlington early the next morning. After no trouble at all finding a parking spot, we headed up the escalator to the Phoenix SkyTrain for a short ride over to Terminal 3. Once off the SkyTrain and in the terminal, it was time to drop our bag at the check-in kiosk and then make our way to the TSA checkpoint. I still need to look into getting TSA pre-check because somehow I don't have it yet. Security took no time at all, even without TSA pre-check, which was to be expected on a flight leaving so late. Now, it's worth noting that I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to be sitting on this first flight. See, we're booked into seat 30F. However, I'm traveling with family today, which came with the potential for a move to Economy Plus, so stay tuned to see where I actually get to sit on this flight. And a quick PSA, always make sure to fill up your water bottle after security. And after arriving down at the gate, we were met with an unfortunate surprise. Yep, a delay. Thankfully, it wasn't too long. And after getting some editing done, we were met with yet another short delay.
Alright, well, we're delayed a little bit longer here out of Phoenix, so we're actually at risk for missing our connection to Dulles tomorrow morning. But that's something actually to keep in mind with these kinds of tickets, is that delays tend to stack toward the end of the day, and so you're more likely to get delayed even further when you're on evening flights like this. So just keep in mind whenever you're booking tickets like this, that this might happen. This is always a possibility. So always give yourself plenty of time if you are having to make a connection somewhere.
And once boarding finally began, we made our way over to Economy Plus, Seat 8A. Quite the upgrade from row 30, and very spacious as well. I was hopeful about actually getting some sleep on this flight, which is something I don't usually get to do. And I'm a huge fan of United's IFE, especially the Bluetooth option, which was working great tonight. And after pushing back around 35 minutes late, we made our way out to the runway, and soon enough, we were airborne. Next stop, Washington, D.C. And as we climbed out of Phoenix, leaving the desert behind, snacks were eventually served. And after a comfortable and restful nap, the sun was up and we were arriving into the capital city of Washington, D.C.
Red-eye done. Now it's just a quick walk over to gate Alpha 2 for the next flight. Ended up sleeping for a couple of hours on that flight. Got really comfortable in that Economy Plus seat. So honestly, I feel fine right now, only on a couple hours of sleep. But I just got one more quick flight over to Burlington today. And yeah, so we're gonna walk over and get this trip done.
After grabbing some breakfast, it was time to head down to our next flight, which fortunately was right on time. Is anyone else a fan of boarding using a ramp or stairs? Because I sure am. I find it a ton of fun. After a quick boarding process, it was time to head to Vermont, and our seat for this short hour-long flight would be seat 20D. And once we pushed back, it was time to start the second flight of this trip. I think now would be a good time to tell you my thoughts on this trip and answer the question, is a red-eye really worth it? And my answer is, it depends. For me, it was absolutely worth it. It saved a ton of money and allowed me to rest and relax once I arrived home. I should add that I do not recommend a domestic red-eye if you want to prioritize sleep. I only ended up sleeping for a couple of hours on this flight, as the flight wasn't very long. And while it was enough to get me home, I quickly fell asleep afterwards. If you're looking at taking a red-eye, I highly recommend bringing some gum or sweet candy. To me, it helps keep me awake during the times that I need to be. All in all, this flight was a great way to save money, but ultimately, do what works best for you. After a short but bumpy flight up to the Green Mountain State, we had arrived, and after a short taxi over to the gate, it's time to deplane and wrap up this trip.
All right, well, we have made it to Burlington, Vermont after a fairly turbulent flight, but thankfully it was pretty short. But now we're going to go ahead and go collect our bag and then get on home. That being said, until the next time, stay safe, stay happy, and I'll see you all on the next adventure.